26th September, Saints Cosmas and Damian, Martyrs, Optional Memoria. From early writings, there is evidence that the tomb of Cosmas and Damian was at Cyrrhus in Syria, where a basilica was built in their honor. Their veneration spread from there to Rome and then throughout the church. A reading from the Sermons of Saint Augustine. Precious is the death of the martyr, bought at the price of the death of Christ. Through such glorious achievements of the holy martyrs, with which the Church blossoms everywhere, we are ourselves proving to our own eyes how true are the words we have been singing. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of His saints. For it is precious both in our sight and in the sight of Him in whose name the death took place. But the price of those deaths is the death of one man. How many deaths did that one man purchase by his death? For if he had not died, the grain of corn would not be multiplied. You heard his words when he drew near to his passion, that is, when he was drawing near to our redemption. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. On the cross, He carried out a vast transaction. There, the purse of our price was unfastened, and when His side was opened by the lance of the soldier, there streamed the price for the redemption of the whole earth. Now the faithful ones and martyrs have been purchased, but the faithfulness of the martyrs has been proved. Their blood is the proof. The price paid for them they have repaid, and they have fulfilled what St. John says, as Christ laid down His life for us, so we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. In another place it is stated, at a grand table you have sat. Now carefully consider what has been put before you, since it is your duty to prepare a similar meal. That table is great, where the Lord of the table is Himself the meal. No one feeds guests with himself as food, but this is exactly what the Lord Christ does. He Himself is the host who invites. He Himself is the food and the drink. Therefore, the martyrs have recognized what they were eating and drinking, so as to be able to make a similar return. But whence can they make such a return unless He who first paid the cost supplies the source from which restitution may be made? What shall I render to the Lord for all His bounty to me? I will receive the cup of salvation. What is the cup? It is the cup of suffering, bitter and yet bringing salvation, the cup which a sick man would fear to touch if his physician did not drink it first. This is that cup. We recognize that cup on the lips of Christ when He says, My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. This is the cup of which the martyrs have said, I will receive the cup of salvation and call on the name of the Lord. Are you not afraid that you will fail? No, He says. Why? Because I will call on the name of the Lord. How could the martyrs conquer unless Christ conquered in the martyrs? For He said, Be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. The ruler of the heavens was directing the minds and tongues of the martyrs, and by them was overcoming the devil on the earth, and in heaven was crowning the martyrs. O blessed ones, who have thus drunk of that cup, they have finished their woes and have received honors.